in one of those matches. And I think this is the beauty of Tier 3, Tier 4 Dota currently. Expect the unexpected, exactly as our winner interview was telling us. So right now we're jumping straight into it, Black. What would you like to not see played today? I'll tell you what I don't want to see played, at least not in map number 1. I don't want to see Storm again.
Why? I like Storm. I mean, yeah, the hero's busted, but it's fun to see, you know?
That's why. It's busted.
Yeah, there's so many busted heroes, though. That's Dota.
I guess that's the way it works. Oh, wow. This is some weird prioritization from both squads. First, Timbersaw, and then Oracle. I mean, if I would have had to put my money on a hero that's going to be firstly banned, I wouldn't have believed Oracle would be the one. But I see why. Have you played Oracle? Have you played with Oracle on your team since the addition of the innate ability Black?
Yes, I have.
What do you think about it? Because I've got my thoughts.
I mean, I play a lot of mid nowadays, so yeah, I'm very happy. But even in the mid late game, honestly, it's a big deal.
I actually think that's when it makes the biggest impact, personally, because in like the minutes 0 to 6, you've got rotations from supports anyway, whatever supports you have, or you've got observers there. But when it comes to minute like 37, 50, and you're running a Storm, a Templar Assassin, you still have a bottle, knowing what power rune will be and where it is, I actually think that's what makes it really strong.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It also helps to set up with some smoke gangs, some smoke rotations potentially, set up some traps, and like cut them from behind. It's an insane and like piece of information, honestly, that should not be in the game. Like I don't think that should be in the game. It's way too strong. It's just unfair because it's something the enemy team is basically cheating. Like, is there any other hero that gives you information? Like Dawnbreaker too. It's just like cheating. You have a map hack.
Would you like it if it would only be 80% of the times accurate?
Nah, then it would be like you'd be betting on, you know. No, you know me. I'm very calculative. That would kill me, man. Like I go up there on a 4 out of 5 chance, and it doesn't spawn. I'm like, what is happening?
Oh, that would be hilarious, honestly, I think. But let's talk about the rest of the bans, because these teams are burning through time. I mean, Egypt is burning through a lot of time here. More than a minute they're spending on banning this Witch Doctor. Brewmaster was quite a quick ban from them. I think that's fair. Brew and Witch Doctor are really strong. The Weaver from Libya, something expected. We've seen how prevalent this hero can be, and it has a really strong win rate in the current patch. And finally, the Tiny. Tiny currently can be played as a core. You can still run it as a support as you could for the last, 6-7 years anyway. And maybe the people are afraid of running into a Tiny core, because if Tiny does get going, he can melt through, well, both players and towers alike.
Yeah. Tiny is in a very strong position again. He's just also so incredibly tanky. Gets almost like 100 health per level. Insane amount of armor. Clockwork. Welcome, my friend. That's going to be our mid Clockwork of the day. Probably not.
It's the first time it goes through.
Yeah.
Wait. It was banned. It has been banned. It has been banned.
It has been banned, yeah, but I don't think it has been picked.
No.
Yeah. So mid Clockwork this game. Good. Lots of action. I want to see some SF. Where are my SF believers?
I mean, it was banned in the first 2 games and then ignored since. I mean, that was only 1 game, and so far it's still in the pool. And I mean, Shadowfiend could work well. He should be a mid laner here, although I know people have played it a fair bit as a safe lane as well. But if you have a Phoenix, right, people want to jump on the Phoenix, and Shadowfiend pops the Requiem of Soul. It's great. It protects the Phoenix. It's kind of like a double bait type stuff. You fear them and they get stunned. Even with the Clockwork in a similar manner, hook shot onto 2 players, you get them in your massive cogs, and then the Shadow Fiend is jumping in on top of them or next to the cogs. So it could still be happening here, Black. I think there's still a slight chance we see an SF this map number 1.
I mean, I don't know if there's another hero that's as fun to watch as SF. Like a well-played SF just looks so good, you know, like the raises, You know your ranges perfectly. You get like a good ultimate where like you bait an enemy into some tree line and you just pop him, stuff like that. It's like I think SF is just incredibly exciting to watch.
I think it makes for a great entertainment. But I'm looking at this ban, Wind Ranger. Without revealing anything from Libya, this is just a shot in the dark. The Broodmother is a Broodmother, so whatever. Uh, but the Wind Ranger looks quite strange to me, and this is gonna enable Egypt to be the ones picking the Templar Assassin, because Wind Ranger is quite good at melting the refraction. But if the opponents ban it, oh, that's gonna enable us to take the TA, and TA plus Phoenix. It's gonna be again the topic conversation we had last game. A lot of sustain.
Yeah, low sustain. Phoenix is one of the highest HP supports. It's also a lot of damage. Like Sunray is an insane damage ability. Darkseer Clockwork,
Ooh, classic.
classic. Yeah, it's been played many, many times. It's just a super strong combo. A Surge Clockwork is very scary, especially in the laning phase. Or even
No,
to gank like a TA middle, honestly. You give him an Iron Shell, he just rotates middle to the TA, dead.
I'm very sad to see the Shadow Fiend ban black. Well, we did see him appear and disappear because that's how Shadow Fiend works.
Yeah.
He's banned, so it's not going to be played. But one of the downsides of running Clock Darkseer is you don't have an egg hitter just yet. And okay, I've seen this Darkseer build where he goes attack speed fine. He's not going to be the one killing the egg, at least not until level 15 or 16 anyway. But at least Libya is not getting deterred from their game plan. They had the clock and they realized, let's just stick to our guns, not swap it for something like a Snapfire. And now they will even get the Shadow Shaman. So not a Shadow Fiend, still on my mind, but the Shadow Shaman, which is one of the most annoying supports to play versus in the current patch because of the cluster clock.
Yeah. It's very fun. You kill him, but he actually doesn't die and just walks away. Like, okay, cool. I don't know what it like that's the kind of thing that I don't need in Dota, you know? Again, calculative. I calculate, I kill you with the next hit. I don't need you to turn into a chicken and run away.
But the Phoenix Burn is quite good at dealing with that, and so are the Psyblades of the Templar Assassin, right?
Yeah.
Usually, like this, either like overtime damage or AOE splash damage is very good at dealing with that. One of the aspects that I want to see supports actually improve at using is the ally hex, right? Which functions like the cluster clock, but you just forget about it because you run Shadow Shaman for so many years, you never really consider saving your teammate with it. You're like, oh, you're getting jumped and dying? Let me hex the opponent. Whereas if you'd use it on your teammate, it would actually be better. You hex your teammate, you shackle the opponent.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on how many enemies there are as well. Like, if there's 2 enemies, you can disable both of them. That's probably the right call, but situationally, as you said, you know, the ally hex can be really, really strong. Sure.
Oh, Lifestealer. He's great at dealing with the Shadow Shaman. He is alright versus the Darkseer. If the Darkseer gets an Aghanims later, he just punches Lifestealer, like knocking him around for a few seconds. But it's not a bad pick. Obviously, Lifestealer was very meta before 736, so he has received a few nerfs. Quite interesting to see what the response from Libya will be, as they're also gonna pair him up with the Grimstroke. The Soulbind will be exceptional for both of these cores. You have to make them speedier, and at one point, if we get the usage of the of the open wounds plus the Soulbind, great work. It's the Phantom's Embrace for silence. It's a strong support. That's what I have to say about the Grimstroke.
Yeah, it's a very strong support, especially with a hero like Lifestealer that's pretty fast innately. Razor, of course, to counter the Lifestealer. It's also pretty decent against TA. You build armor, but it's not as strong as it used to be, of course, the Link. It's much longer now, which means there is much more potential to steal more damage, but being able to stick on a hero for that long is very unusual. Usually doesn't happen, especially against a TA or Lifestealer. And you still don't have a real egg hitter either.
But you do have a Surge. And this is reminiscent of 2015, 2017 speed car Razor, which was popular in China, right? Remember that Razor just run whatever it was, Facebook's Yashot drums Shadow Blade, and he would just run at you. He doesn't need that much of that, as he just has the Dark Seer. And with the Clock and the Shadow Shaman, he's got a lot of good pairing, lots of good reveal from the Rocket Flare, and some arguably good catch.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the catch is top tier with Clock and Shadow Shaman. Even Darkseid Vacuum is really good too. But if Egypt picks up something like a Mars now, that's going to be a problem for Libya.
Yeah.
Because Mars Phoenix team fight together with what with the rest of the heroes they have is absolutely insane. So I hope they ban the Mars, because it would be the best combo for Egypt for sure. Also very good hero against Razor in general. Just spear him away, knock him away. So if they were to ban the Mars, I don't actually know what other great offlane is left in the pool.
Some strange bans coming in from Egypt as well. Not really sure what they're going to do with this Razor on the side of Libya. So they're banning an Ursa and a Viper. Trying to cover their bases. Both Ursa and Viper are quite, well, very good versus Lifestealer, and the Viper deals well with these Templar Assassin, the great egg hitters. So, yeah, just want to cover their base as the Doombringer.
Doom. Ah. I will see what their last pick. Maybe it makes a lot more sense when we see that. Because Doom is more like a targeted AA nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think Doom would have been good for. I mean, it would have been. Doom is a Doom, right? He's fine. He's reliable. It's just that safety net that you get when you pick a Doom. But I don't think he would have been that oppressive. Whereas Egypt right now has the luxury of going for, like you said, quite a few options. Even the Underlord is available here, which I've seen some teams run in concoction with this Lifestealer, as it enables the Lifestealer to join in sort of like a Spectre type stuff. It worked a few times in Tier 3, Tier 2, Dota, SEA, and SA. I don't know. It's quite good at locking the Razor in and dealing with the Darks here, but they will have overall last pick as Libya.
Storm.
Of course, it's in the pool. Why not take it?
Yeah, they don't have the best catch, so it makes sense. But still, I worry for the team fight if Egypt now picks the Mars. Because tier traps aren't bad against Storm Spirit, and then they have the Phantom Embrace as well, of course.
Yeah.
Or if they really want to have a hard lockdown offlane. What could that be?
I mean, this explains the Doom ban, right?
Yeah. It does. Some targeted stun could be. Oh, I went for Night Stalker. Okay. I like that a lot, actually. It's probably one of the best counters to Storm Spirit. But this is the kind of thing I was talking about. Like, they have a very strong coach with them, and having like an additional pair of eyes, an experienced additional pair of eyes, is so valuable.
To give you the extra edge there. But I gotta ask you, what is faster, a Facebook Dark Ascension Night Stalker or a 4 points in Surge Dark Seer?
And Darkseid will be faster, I think, for a certain duration. But of course, Night Stalker is permanently fast.
But then that's what you need, right? Because you need the Surge onto the Storm to get away from the Night Stalker, and he just ball lightnings away.
Oh, yeah. For sure, that can work. But on top of that, there will be, of course, the TA traps. And maybe even an Ink Swell on the Night Stalker as well, which also gives him move speed.
That's very good. Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see how it ends up playing out, but Storm Spirit is not going to have an easy game here. Because Lifestealer can also jump into the Night Stalker, and he's going to buy Blink Dagger eventually.
I mean, I'm a very pro and con here because Razor is also a traditional Lifestealer counter, right? So it's both heroes have been nerfed, the Razor and the Lifestealer. I would argue that Razor's still more viable than the Lifestealer, but he also has the better pairings with the TA, with the Night Stalker. So, well, looking at this draft, I will kind of edge out Libya, but it's like a 53% in their favor, if you ask me personally, draft-wise. Looking at the teams, we know Egypt is the favorite individually and historically speaking. But, Black, if you could forget about that for a second, do you still take the advantage of the dire side here?
I think so, because Darkseid generally is a hero that plays well into certain heroes, and I don't really see many of these heroes on the dire side. Like, what illusion is really going to be strong here, you know? Like, illusions are always annoying, of course, but it's not like there's a Terrorblade or Morphling or like Medusa kind of hero.
I mean, if
Also,
it's a raid
Darkseer, I think, will fall
stealer,
off. Yeah, as I said, they're always good, but they're not like game breaking as they can be in certain matchups, you know? He'll still be an amazing aura carrier, of course. But, I mean, it's tough because Dire doesn't really have much catch. I think I actually prefer the Radiant draft. It's just easier to play.
so you're on my side. Okay, we're both going for Libya's, and I like that thought process, right? Easier to execute, especially at this moment in time. It feels like it's just better overall. Hook shot, jump in, surge, static link. You don't need to combine that many spells, and even if you do, they're pretty good. Vacuum, cogs, Eye of the Storm. What you call it? The blue hole. Maybe later on for the Storm Spirit. It would be very, very cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a combo that has won many games before, especially when Storm gets 25 with the overload attack bounce. A huge amount of AoE damage. They have the theoretical counter in Razor to both the TA as well as the Lifestealer. I just worry that, you know, it's too much to handle for one hero.
He did not go for the static slide. He went for the shock collar, which is the one I actually prefer, Black. We saw the static slide, I believe, 2 games ago when the Storm Spirit was played in the first matchup. Oh, X just completely missed the block of the creeps.
Well, sometimes the creeps are pretty slidey.
Oh my goodness, look at the setup. They're just waiting for the Grimstroke to rotate up top. Google gonna show up. Is gonna get a bit of a static link damage action with the first blood, and now TP's down bottom. Not gonna miss that much. Only a single deny for the Night Stalker, and first blood going in the favor of Libya.
Yeah, well thought out. Good strategy there. I don't even know if they needed the Razor there, to be honest. But good for them to stick around. Nice early advantage for them.
Wait, is this tri-lane? No, never mind. The colors are playing with my eyes.
That's why I have to learn how to know, you know. We don't look, we just know.
We just feel it. Oh, action's gonna be tanking some right click.
Ooh, careful, Clock. Walking to a whole creep wave there.
He should be fine, I think. There's no level 2 on the Grimstroke. He will go lower. Okay, he just turned around. Okay, this is gonna allow him to get their last hit, but the stick charge? Playing with fire, literally there.
Storm is struggling a lot, only sitting at 2 CS.
Oh, wow.
Oh well. I mean, we know that the Egyptian players are really strong individually, so...
Look at this.
Let's see.
Even Micho Bob down bottom. I don't think the Phoenix once comes on top of this trade, even with the Fire Spirits, because Shadow Shaman just had much higher physical damage, and the final Fire Spirit will just narrowly miss. Steve, very confident in his level 1 Shadow Shaman, but one of the good aspects if you're running a Razor, you can kind of just leave him to his own devices, normally speaking, but not in this matchup, as this Night Stalker is dominating this Razor.
Yeah, which isn't really supposed to happen either, of course, because I mean, Razor is just innately, you know, supposed to counter melee heroes with a static link. But it being nighttime to start with obviously plays into the favor of Night Stalker. So, what does it actually mean? So, nighttime is 15 seconds longer and daytime is 15 seconds shorter, right? So, it's 30 seconds increase overall?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually pretty strong.
What do you think about this innate ability on the Lifestealer? Because I kind of like it, but it feels somewhat underwhelming as they're getting pursued up top and they're taking quite a bit of damage from this Clock Battery, Assault, and Iron Shell. Do you like the +2 what is it, plus 2 HP for every single last hit?
I mean, I think it's not bad. Yeah, it really adds up, right? Like, let's say you have like 500 CS or something, 1,000 health. That's a big deal. Ooh, clockwork. A little bit of trouble.
There's no mana on anybody on the Radiant side, as Kashi will most certainly not fall due to a beautifully delivered healing salve from the courier, but Steve down bottom is not as lucky as Micho Bob puts an end to his days on the lane.
You know, I actually think 2 HP might be too much for that facet.
You think so? I don't think so. I think, especially with the way most games are going, it's like a 60%, well, actually 70% of games are finishing pre-minute 32 when he doesn't get that much HP, as Kashi is really being overconfident, hoping that action can protect him with the surge, and he does. And there's only like about, I don't know, 15% of games that go past minute 45 currently, which is when a lot of HP comes to, like you said, 1,000 or 500 last hits.
Yeah, but even now already, look, he's close to 100 HP already. That's just landing phase. Oh, raise it down. Bottom. Yep.
1 for 1.
Trade still.
Patient at least got the gold and the XP there. I mean, Google got the gold and the XP, but Patient is more than happy here. Currently top of the last hit department, and now even getting involved with that kill in the mid lane. This Storm Spirit is so far behind the Templar Assassin, completely getting outlaned by the Egyptian mid laner.
Yeah, and Clock TP to the mid lane as well, but Storm didn't manage to give him the bottle for a refill. So now the pressure continues. Ouch.
He might just die here. One more right click.
One more hit. Well, he's a very high level TA, as you can see from his gameplay. He definitely knows what he's doing. And then
that was tragic. That was truly tragic, let's be honest. Even Clock committing with the rotate, and he didn't have a TP to come and assist yet again. Kemp's realizing that and continuing the pressure. Now Kashi shows himself again, but what do you want to do? Fight them for the bottom rune? Where is the power rune going to be spawning? It is bottom, it is a shield rune. Kashi in the cogs, Steve just outside the cogs. Look at the turnaround, gets the kill. Electric Vortex coming in, only a level 5 on the Storm Spirit. He wants to get some damage. Look at Kemp's going south. And the Shadow Shaman managed to pick up the shield rune, but this Templar Assassin is so speedy. Steve coming in, does not have the mana for the shackles or the range.
Yeah, Kemp's really playing with his food there. He knew he wasn't really in any sort of danger. And, I mean, just looking at the individual skill, you can kind of tell though, right? Like, Egypt seems to be a little next level. Like a little step above.
A little? Only a little?
A little. No, not... Razor's behind enemy lines. Ooh, that's a fast Night Stalker.
And 18 TPs from the Fix and the Grimstroke. The damage though, the Shackles doing a lot of good work. Can you kill the Phantom Embrace? Yes, you can. Google, do you have anything more to sustain yourself, such as a stick? Already used. Raindrops will not be enough. Doesn't even have boots. Wraithband and Blade, Band of Velvet Skin. And now, Storm Spirit still not level 6. Will fall yet again to this Templar Assassin. Now level 7. Kashi does TP in time, but does he have what it takes to turn this one around? Kemps is just right-clicking him away. And in the end, the Refraction will reset. And now, one more right click shall do the job. The TP is coming in. Kempt, he might have overstepped for once, but this TP is so long. It's actually action. The Dark Seer coming in to try and aid his Clock.
Yeah, the mid-lane TA here really putting out the pressure. Solo killing Storm yet again, who's only level 5 still. He has more than double his CS as well. Oof, it's a tough one, this game. Really tough. We spoke about how Storm was pretty reliant on having a decent early game at least. Nothing of that here.
I don't even know what else to say. We have a bit of an attempt again. Google going for Patient. Really wants to kill this Night Stalker, but I don't think he's got it in the tank. One more right click will do the job and he's alive. No, Steve, you also overcommitted. Even the bottle to keep Patient 100% alive. 2 for none. Yet again, he's so tanky. He's so speedy. Phase boots. That's requires a chainmail. One double bracer. 9 to 5,000 almost gold deficit at minute 8.5 black. This is pre 16 minutes GG territory if it continues escalating at the same pace.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you there. It's, I guess, some of what we expected from Egypt. I didn't know that the gap is that big, to be honest. Like, I knew that they're good. I didn't know that they're, that far ahead of the playing field. Of course, it's still early days. One map doesn't speak the whole story, doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, of course
But
not.
yeah, as I said, individually you can just they kind of feel more intimidating. Good kill on the Night Stalker here, though.
They're trying again, and this time they might just do it.
Yeah, they needed that for sure. And yeah, like this aura of intimidation, you can kind of feel, like the over rotations from the Radiant, the kind of authority that they play with, like TA just tower diving and all that. You just get this feeling,
Why is Darkseer here? He's level 7. That's a level 6 Phoenix. Silas coming through. He can pop the egg if you want. Okay, Mitra Bob gets pushed back by the cogs and doesn't want to use the Lotus. In the end, will die without getting anything in exchange. But look at the wall from the Darkseer, trying to keep alive the Shadow Shaman. Is not going to be enough. The Razor is here. Kems is turning around, getting 1 kill. The Razor is getting chomped down by the Batman himself. Refraction back him in the corner, and Kems will fall. That is a dominating skill streak going in the favor of the Storm Spirit, who's running out of mana, but he managed to get the double kill. I mean,
this is exactly what the draft is good at. Oh, Storm gets a Cane Rune.
I think he just dies here to meet your Bob. I don't think you escape this Phoenix, especially not with the Grimstroke Phantom Embrace coming in. Patient has not stopped his chase. He is relentless action. Only a single point in Surge. He needs another 15 seconds or so, and now the silence overwhelms both the Shaman and the Darkseer. They cannot do anything. They're actually trying to turn around. That is a very overconfident attempt as the Phoenix Egg pops. Kemps is here, and it's gonna be another 2 fallen angels for the Radiant side of Libya.
You see that anti-synergy? Night Stalker tries to run away super fast. Pop egg. But yeah, they're very calculated in the way they play. With how much they can get away with. They have to be a little careful. Like, they're really strong on the Radiant side when they're together as like 3 or 4 heroes with the Iron Shells. So as long as they can keep their lead and mitigate the damage that they take in the next, I'd say, probably 10 minutes, the game should be theirs. As it's very much under control already. Like, Lifesteal is almost up to his relic already.
This is a disastrous start. I don't even know what the conditions for them to turn this one around could be, right? Last game we talked about, well, 2 games ago, we talked about the lack of a big AoE turnaround, and then we saw the Earthshaker that pulled that off, and you have the Darkseer, right? But we were jokingly saying, oh, late game vacuum into Vortex of 5 people, yeah, that's what turns the game around. This Storm Spirit has no item, essentially no item at this moment in time, and he doesn't even seem to be close on getting one. He has 700, 800 gold towards his Witchblade, but by the time he has that, the Templar Assassin could probably purchase an Aghanim Shard without, like, skipping the blink, going Shard after Dragonlance if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, he's super rich, and that Shard is going to be game-breaking, for sure. Like, all these heroes hate playing against TA Shard. It's been one of the strongest shots since its creation in the game. So Blink Dagger means he wants to play very tempo. I like that because Lifesteal will be farming a little bit more of that Radiance.
And this Night Stalker, he's got an armlet. Goodness gracious. What a built-up classic. When you're dominating, you've got all the tempo in the world. That's what you go for. And now he's looking at a Blink, Sanjin, Yasha. Teammates are smoked up. Level 7 on the Grimstroke and the Phoenix, respectively. Shadow Shaman only level 5 still. Quite a way off from catching up in the XP department with the opponent's support. So we've already seen the egg. It's kind of coming again. Soulbind has not been scaled yet, but I think that's fine. You don't necessarily have what to pair up with a Soulbind. The Phantom Embrace and the Inkswell are much more valuable, as we're going to see that in action just now. Razor.
Okay. Ooh, take me too, he says.
We're all in here together, High School Musical 2008. Is that what the game plan was? He's somehow still alive, and now they're trying to turn around into the Phoenix, but the Dark Ascension comes through. Phantom Embrace onto the Shaman, tries to kill the Ghost, and Kashi really trying to juke this monster of the night, but in the end, he will get caught. Phoenix, Grimstroke, Cluster Clock, turning around, trying to sidestep. Will it be sufficient? Yes, it will be sufficient to allow Patient to get the double kill. The Phoenix egg gets popped, and it's 3-0, heading towards Egypt's victory grasp.
Yeah, and that's all while Lifesteal is still happily farming away.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help. A moment of silence for the Dyer's courier. Trouble brewing at Radiant's bottom tower.
Let's look at this from Black. Let's see. The hook shot we thought was wrong, but in the end it actually worked out. He escaped afterwards. Why didn't they fully disengage? Like, what was the plan here with the Shaman trying to kill the Phoenix?
Maybe just try to save the Darkseer. I'm not entirely sure. But I think they're definitely feeling the pressure, because they know they're far behind at this point, and they're just trying to make things work, even if they might not necessarily work. Ooh, easy kill.
Oh, the Night Stalker falls.
Yeah. He just got hook-shotted. He farmed with like 100 HP. One hook shot and he died.
Oh, he didn't go to base after that previous skirmish in the replay? Interesting, but look at X jumping in. Ahead, Blink Dagger away, Electric Vortex or not. This Templar Assassin didn't get the shard first. Realized, you know what, let me accelerate my tempo, just as you predicted, Black. Blinks out of there. A bit of a mistake, you know, overconfident from the Night Stalker. And he does get punished, which is a good sign for Libya.
I sure this facet is not super strong. He already got plus 300 health on the Lifestealer, man, at minute 15. That's a free vitality booster. That's a lot of health.
That is kind of strong.
Look how much health he has. He would never be this tanky. Well, goodbye Darkseer, probably. Now the only thing he was seeing is darkness.
That is a good line.
He gives the kill to Lifestealer. He needs a plus 2 health. Nice. Good.
Steve is still level 5 Black.
Yeah. Lifestealer also stole both, not both. I think he only stole one of the XP runes.
I mean,
it's a big difference again.
Level 6, it doesn't really matter on on the Shadow Shaman, especially when you're playing so far behind. The Serpents are great, but when you can actually use them, achieve like some of the pick off, or maybe to lock someone within them, when you're playing so far behind, probably getting level 6 to get another point in Hex is better at this point, as they have their sights set on the Razor. Not gonna commit, as actually there's a bit of a halt. Kemps turns around and wants to wait in mid for someone to push the wave.
So Clockwork, I mean, he'll definitely have to be the one to initiate. He's going Orchid still on Storm. They aren't the best Orchid targets. I guess Lifesteal is fine, but as I said, he's so tanky he probably doesn't even care about it. But look into the Golem camp, it just gives him 12 health.
I mean, the Greaves have been done on the Darkseer for a hot moment, but when he was initiated earlier, he didn't have the chance to pop it. Wow, 342. Okay, this Lifestealer is flash farming like crazy. He's 155 last hit and 22 denies already, on top of a kill as well.
Yeah. His farm is accelerating like mad. He's going for Manta Stat actually, because he saw the Orchid build up on the Storm. Into the mid lane now. Oh, nice Greaves usage.
Action will be the one to run away. I mean, he's the most farmed core on the side of Libya, but that's nothing, like, not something you ever want to see when you're running a Darkseer. as he also steals the invisibility rune. There's nobody around him close enough to pop some sentries or dust, so he will get away with that. As Forever gets a couple bounties on his lifestealer, and now, oh, Master B bottom. They're trying to jump on Patient. The Orchid coming in, now the Electric Vortex. This is a very beefy target. Now the Grimstroke is there for the debuff and the Silence and the Soulbind and the Helix Egg, but they're running away. If they can get out of it after forcing the egg, this might be a huge dub. What a hook shot, trying in to connect as the egg expires, but the egg pops in on top of the Clockwork, stuns him up. Silence from the Grimstroke, Phantom Embrace, more like the Death Embrace. He falls to the ground. Another Phantom flying in, and look at the Night Stalker jumping on top of the Razor. And Storm Spirit just sacrificing himself, trying to tank a little bit for the Razor. Then Outer Shackles coming in the right time. They get the kill on the Night Stalker, and the Storm gets out. The Phoenix is trying to dive sooner, but look at the Mass Serpent Wards getting the kill. There's no more egg to protect you, and it's a 2-for-1. Favorable trade. There's so much damage being dealt by the wards and by this Darkseer Iron Shell, and another Shackles coming in. The Iron Shell, look at the illusion and action with the triple kill.
Yeah, big overextension here. We've seen it a lot in our first 3 games as well. But if your lifestealer doesn't want to join these fights, you do not fight there. Like, he's a massive amount of your net worth. You need him to join those fights. Look, take a quick look at the replay here again. You saw a Night Stalker, right? Get 400 health, it just ran in like that. Like, that's overconfident at its finest. Yeah, they probably know this was a big mess up, and they're going to be a little bit more careful from now.
I mean, this is a good lesson to learn for Egypt, right, Black? When we're talking about the prime team favored to qualify for the World Esports Championships, even if with this mistake they're gonna win and they're gonna be like, oh, we're so good. This is the type of mistake they gotta go back, watch the VOD, and realize if they want to be contending for a medal at the World Esports Championships, they can't have this type of mistakes when they're having such a dominating early game.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the amount of gold you give away the further you're ahead. It's these kind of mistakes that I spoke about earlier that should be pretty much minimized nowadays, you know, in this age of Dota, where we've had so much experience, so much information online on how to stay ahead and get ahead more.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't
Yeah, we gotta follow the blueprint, you know.
Manta style completed on Google.
Yeah, almost done on Lifesteal as well. So I think as soon as Lifesteal is done with his Manta style, he's probably gonna be very happy to just join some fights with his team. So Manta style first on a Razor, that's a very unusual pickup. Let's see what it does for him.
As we have a bit of a moment to take a break, I would like to remind all of our viewers at home that if they want to stay up to date with all the schedules, the matches, results for both Dota 2 and all of the other esports titles, feel free to go and check IESF.gg to keep up to date with everything going on in the 2024 season.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of teams, lots of regions, lots of different titles. So, if you're at all interested, go check it out. Did he pop Darkness for that? He did not. Just an easy peasy freebie. Oh, they're all TPing towards the Lifestealer. He's tanky though. He's very tanky.
Mass Serpent. Okay, you gotta micro your words to hit the Lifestealer. Stop farming the creeps, please. Surge. They're chasing more. The Storm Spirit is jumping onto the Grimstroke, and the Lifestealer is still being side. He's running away, but the damage stolen by the Razor, it's over 190. But look at the turnaround. Soulbind and the Dark Ascension Silence. The Storm Spirit has no more chance. And Google, you might have a lot of damage, but you don't have sufficient HP to turn around. But Patient is so tanky on this beastly Night Stalker. Action, the only saving grace when it comes to a core. But look at the Melt Strike. Camps will put an end to that, and in the end, the Radiance will get the cluster clock. The chicken has turned into KFC, and yet another death for Kashi. Triple kill for Patient. 27-11.
Yeah, Clockwork just died, respawned, died again. It's a tough life to be a support this game. They have so much backline jump. Alright, do you wanna take back what you said about the Lifestealer facet?
Absolutely, I want to take that back, but only because he's having such a great game, okay? It's not often we see him dominate this much, but look at this initiation. I think this was a pretty solid attempt. They went a bit deep, but I think if they killed the Grimstroke before popping the Soulbind plus Phantom's Embrace, maybe the Storm escapes there? Maybe?
Potentially, it's just he was within the range of the Crippling Fear.
Yeah.
Which of course is an 8-second silence. It's just so hard to get out of that. And as you said, they overstayed their welcome for sure. Like, as soon as you start chasing Lifestealer and you don't kill him immediately or within 10 seconds, you really gotta expect that, you know, his team is just around the corner. And you don't really have the luxury right now of chasing. You gotta get a kill and then you get out. Every time. Oh, yeah, combo again.
Just like we're talking about, you were just saying the Dark Ascension and the Crippling Fear. Dark Ascension wasn't even needed there. Just Crippling Fear and the Infest Bomb that we talked about during the draft phase, completely obliterating the life of the Storm Spirit. And you know what I feel like we're witnessing right now, Black? First series of the day, we saw a Storm Spirit in the enemy team, and now we're witnessing a Storm Spirit in my team, usually. That's the way it goes. One Storm Spirit completely snowballs out of proportion, and the other one doesn't get going at all.
Yeah. I love it when people say that. It's always like the most biased memory ever. But rightfully so, you know? Rightfully so. We gotta make space for the good memories.
Jumping in. Clockwork has the jetpack. A bit of a small victory for him. Manages to get out of that precarious position, but the others have not got the same success. As look at this, they are completely. Steve isolates himself between the snakes as trying to blow down this Night Stalker, but Storm is silenced. And look at the Maelstrike again, hookshot coming in onto 2, but this is only Kashi sacrificing himself to the gods that are coming in from the side of Egypt. Once again, the Solar Phoenix coming through. Double kill for Chems. Action is very tanky, but not sufficient to survive. Another Maelstrike for Chems. Triple kill. Forever jumping forward. 4-staff patient blinks, and Kashi will be yet another team wipe from Egypt, who is playing what would you describe this as? Like a different planet type Dota, a different solar system Dota to Libya?
Yeah, it's kind of reminds me of when, you know, for some of the big tournaments you had to go through open qualifiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like some of the earlier rounds. It's kind of what it reminds me of. You know, when you play against your fans and they're like, oh, we're your biggest fans. Go easy on us, that kind of thing. No, Egypt right now they're insane. I mean, the draft is really good.
Yeah, I mean,
the gameplay is...
It's so cohesive as well, right? They are gelling very well together, and none of them seems to have any... Well, there were a few mistakes, I believe, especially with that Night Stalker being a bit greedy at a certain point. But at this current moment in time, they're back on track. They are leading 26,000 gold at minute 26, Black. This is 1,000 gold per minute. If you take a quick look, I would like to ask our observer at the Dota Plus graphs as the Clockwork falls yet again. They have a 0% win probability according to Dota Plus currently.
0%?
It's a 0.
All right. I think this time it's pretty accurate, actually. Hard to see how they really come back here.
Infest into a Night Stalker that blinks forward mid-dark ascension, disconnects, gets 4-staff into the opponent's Ancient. Razor links the Night Stalker, and they kill them both.
Or they dive the base, kill the Zaxia, and not get the...
Storm Spirit, Ball Lightning onto the Phoenix. Phoenix still has an egg, and Orchid will not be enough. Debuff coming in from the Inkswell, Soulbind, Phoenix Egg, silence from the Crimson Fear, and it's gonna be a dieback for the Darkseer. Storm Spirit is silenced and eaten alive by none other than Forever's Lifestealer. Another buyback from the Shadow Shaman trying to pour him into base. Electric Vortex will come in, and the Aegis target gets it, but it's a dieback as Kemps gets a low ground hit onto the Storm in his fountain to secure the good game at minute 28.
Making it look extremely easy. I mean, that's sort of what we expected from Egypt, I guess. Like, they're definitely a powerhouse team in this region. The other teams also said that. I'm wondering though if there is a team here, because I think we have a total of 9 teams. Is that correct?
We have 5 teams in the North African region and 4 teams in the South African region, which means
Right.
the North African region has a slot and the South African one has a slot for themselves as well. So we will not see the
Oh, okay.
likes of Egypt versus South Africa this weekend or this week.
Alright, so it's basically 4 other teams that contend with them.
Yes.
Because what they also said is that South Africa, that's what we said,
Yeah.
is also pretty strong on paper. So that would have been a fun matchup to see, but yeah. Out of the other 4 teams... So the first match was also in their pool, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Teams.
So Tunisia and Morocco, both had some potential if they could, clear up some of their, let's say, mistakes that we saw in that best of 3 series. They might have a bit of a better chance to match up versus Egypt. But realistically speaking, at this moment in time, they are the heavy favorites, and we see in this replay right now why that is. That's not to take anything away from Libya. They might have just had a underwhelming game, right? First game on stream, they might be nervous. Egypt has the experience. If they can get over that hump and come in with slightly better mechanical performance in the laning phase in game 2, they might put a better fight.
Yeah, 100%. As I said, like, one game doesn't really tell the whole story. And we'll have to see what they come up with in game 2. Because I actually quite like the draft. It's just that the pieces didn't really come together. And I think the lanes went too poorly to really, get anything going. Because Night Stalker is not supposed to beat
A Razor?
a Razor. Yeah,
Never.
and Storm against TA is a pretty 50-50 matchup.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta say, I think that is probably the biggest highlight. Storm TA, fine. Let's just say Kemps is an expert. We see he's almost a grandmaster, and that's understandable. But the whole Razor Night Stalker matchup is definitely not something that should have went that way. Even if you're evenly matched with the Night Stalker, you shouldn't be like... That Night Stalker was 5 times more lasting than the Razor, minute 8. It was incredible. And we see a bit of the cohesiveness of their picks here, but this was about minute 18 when Steve finally got level 6 on the Shadow Shaman. That is extremely late because of the pressure that was continuous, perpetual from Egypt. And here, this was the first of a few beautiful turnarounds that started off the back of the very famous, the Grimstroke. Every single time he was getting jumped on, somehow managed to escape for enough to turn around with a Soulbind Phantom's Embrace, and then enable his team to, hop on, Egg, Dark Ascension, Crippling Fear, right clicks, team wipe.
Yeah. Make it look very easy, essentially.
MVP?
MVP... Probably Kemps.
Okay.
Just because of how much pressure he created and how many rotations he forced. Essentially giving complete free farm to Lifestealer and Night Stalker.
No, I can see that. I would also argue that maybe Patient on the Night Stalker might have a good argument here, or even the Grimstroke because of the turnaround. But it's quite hard to actually say that anybody on the Egypt side didn't play well, as they were in cruise control since minute 6 or so. From Libya, what else would you like to see change in that game 2 other than the laning phase, which, like we said, didn't really go anywhere for them?
I think maybe just pick a more meta carry. Razor is not completely out there, but it's not a super easy, straightforward carry.
Yeah.
If I'm Libya against Egypt, I want to play the simplest draft, the simplest heroes possible, because that gives me the chance to just completely focus on execution. Executing with quote-unquote boring standard heroes is way easier than trying to think outside of the box.
I think that makes sense, and they kind of tried, because we were talking about roster less drafts, we would have taken Libya just slightly because it seemed easier to execute. But maybe they should even simplify it beyond that, right? To the point in which it's something that everybody runs. You run in your pubs because you want to run your pubs. You've played a ton over the last month, and that is something that you should try to get your hands on as quick as possible. But we will allow both Libya and Egypt to mentally reset for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we will return to game number 2 to see if Libya can start mounting the comeback for a first sweep. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the IESF North African qualifiers for 2024. I'm Waxen, joined by Black, and we just noticed the dismantling of one of the teams, Libya, ahead of their game one versus Egypt. Black, you're a bit speechless based on what we saw in that game number one. You started to ask me who else is in the group stage, who can beat them, and you were actually getting really anxious for everybody else that is about to face Egypt if this is the level that they can play at.
Yeah, 100%. And generally, at least, how it is like, if you're faced with stronger opponents, you play even better. So
Yeah.
I don't even think that's Egypt's like final form at all. Like they seem to be just having a good time with it, especially the tower dive bottom. Like he would never just run in with 200 HP and be like, "Yeah, come at me," you know. That is
Yeah.
that's like a power move. That's a power move that
It's
you wouldn't typically make.
it's
Let's just put
asserting
it out.
dominance. It's asserting dominance at its finest, right, Black? And with that being said, you're on the Libya side. Let's say you're the Libyan captain, right? We talked about Coach Black. Someone get this man. Libya comes to you right now. Black, we need some advice. Give us the locker room talk. What do you tell them to maybe not necessarily convince them they can turn this around, but at least morally boost their gameplay? Because after the first 8 minutes, it felt like they were so defeated at many various points in the reminder of that map one.
Yeah, I think they just felt pretty lost, which is understandable because they lost every lane in Dota. Once you lose every lane in Dota, it just becomes almost impossible to do anything. You know, like no matter what move you make, it becomes very predictable.
Yeah.
So it even got to the point where they suddenly had 4 heroes middle just because they desperately tried to make something happen. And yeah, like you just gotta make sure always in Dota, the first thing you need to think about is you wanna at least win one lane and go even in one lane. Okay. As soon as that's the case, you can then start on building. But if you cannot win even a single lane,
Okay.
the game is almost impossible to play. So my advice would be pick very strong laners, make sure you win at least one lane, best case scenario, 1.5 lanes, and then start structuring your game from there. Because as I said, that's the minimum requirement to even get started. You know, it's like if we were talking about like a real life sport, you need certain skills to even be, you know, to even have like a game. You know, if you don't have a game, like what can you do? Nothing. You know, it's like the enemy has a ball, but you don't. How do you play football?
The enemy,
Yeah.
you take the ball, right? Is that how it works? Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is, like, imagine you have two teams playing, and one team had a ball, the other team doesn't have a ball. Let's just say football, okay, on two different courts.
Okay. Okay.
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, it's about taking the ball.
I
I know
got
how
it. I
football
got it.
works.
Like
I know the
tennis.
rules. You know,
Tennis. One of
or
you has a
tennis.
racket, the other doesn't. That's what you
Oh,
were going.
sure. That's a much easier analogy. Yeah, I like that one a lot better. So yeah, one has a racket, one doesn't. Like, how do you play with your hands? Like, no way, right?
You're not gonna slap 120-kilometer ball an hour with your empty
Eh,
palm. That is
no.
true.
Now, I'm sure there's some people that could do it, like Brian Shaw or something, probably.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
he's strong, but like does speed yes, speed equals no strength equals speed, but does speed equal coordination? Because tennis is a lot of hand-eye coordination as well, right?
I mean, that guy is huge. He's like 2 meters something. Now I just have this image in my head of him jumping up and going, "Whoo!"
Or tennis ball. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I think we should talk to our IESF friends and convince them to get Brian Shaw for one of the coming lands. I think that would be absolutely epic.
Oh, I would be so happy, man. Like, I'm a big Brian Shaw fan. Getting to meet him would be an absolute classic act.
Well, you heard it here,
Ah,
ladies and gentlemen. Wants to make Black happy. This is what you have to do. Talk about Brian Shaw, or just get him in the room with him. It would be exceptional. As we are now approaching the second draft of the second series of the day. Of course, for everybody at home, if you would like more updates about everything IESF related, schedules, teams, matches, Dota 2, and across in Counter-Strike and all the other esport titles, feel free to go to iesf.gg for all of the updates. As Libya is now underway versus Egypt, first ban, let's take out the Storm Spirit. That's what I'm going to go for. I know Libya didn't play that well with it, but if Egypt gets their hands on the Storm, I am truly concerned.
That could be a scary one, yeah. To be entirely honest, like I know the players in person. I spoke to them quite a bit, but I don't know what like their go-to heroes are. Like I'm the best with this hero, so Libya probably has a much better idea of that than we do, and they're actually focusing on supports. Interestingly enough,
10 seconds.
so they're like
to go.
Camps. We know you're good. Maybe he's too good, and they can't ban out all his
5
heroes.
seconds.
You know, that could be another
Makes
problem. Mm-hmm.
Looking at first pick, Egypt has first pick this time as well. And Libya has overall last pick. That's the way drafting works in the current captain's mode order of picks and bans. Oracle was a ban last game. Timber saw as well. Clockwork is new. Obviously, we saw it being played and it was very successful. And then finally, Venomancer wasn't seen at all last game, but it will be picked here. Interesting. It's a very curious change of place, but I've obviously taking out the Templar Assassin. We were talking about Kemps. They were like, well, they don't want to ban the TA. Fine, we'll do it ourselves. We don't feel like we want to risk them going for a first pick TA.
5
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. I mean, after a performance like that, you probably just say, yeah, screw that. Let's give him something else. Because we know what kind of damage you can do with that hero. As I said, as Libya, keep it simple. Maybe even pick your Undyings, your Crystal Maidens, just these really simple heroes,
Radiant's
and
banned.
start building your game up from the foundations, basically. We
Watch
don't need
them-
anything fancy.
I was about to say, watch them just run a Meepo
Radiant's
Visage or
pick.
something.
Dyer's pick.
Wow, they gave away Tiny for the first time today. That's a tiny mistake.
No, I see what you did there. I like that. That is a tiny mistake. Good answer with the Brewmaster. Sadly, past laning phase, Tiny kind of just kills the Brewlings. During the lane phase, Brewmaster can bully the Tiny out. It's fine depending on the supports that you have joining you up. But Egypt is the one that banned Tiny in the first phase last game, so they are the ones taking the Phoenix out, which they played, and allowing themselves to get their hands on the Tiny, which is a very interesting change of pace. Tiny could be flexed to support. I would really like to see him as a carry currently.
10
I mean,
seconds
me
to
too,
go.
just purely because I like watching him as a carry, not because I have any
5
opinion
seconds.
whether it's better as a support or
Dyer's
carry.
banned.
But I mean, support Tiny is also insane. You have this 1.4k HP hero at level 6 running around with like 10 armor. Super hard to kill.
Dyer's pick. Radiant's pick.
It's a strong hero. I mean, we spoke about it. Reposition abilities. He has a stun. Well, technically 2 stuns. A huge amount of damage.
The Weaver, Libya getting their hand on something very meta as well. And no.
Oh, that's a tough one. Because Storm with Orchid counters hard
Dyer's
counters. Or his Disruptor. But you can just see, right? Like, so the first series we casted, the heroes were kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But now Egypt, together with their coach, who's, by the way, super high MMR as well, which you can kind of tell. Like, their draft
10
just looks
seconds to
so
go.
good. Like, the 2 first picks are completely
5
countered
seconds.
instantly. Like, I don't want to play Brewmaster or Weaver into Storm or Disruptor. That's just
Neither do
terrible.
I. Neither do I.
It's so hard to already, get started now. Like, if you're in Libya, you're like, all right, let's pick these 2 heroes. Gotta win that map too. And then the draft is like this. You're like, what do we do now?
Like, why ban the Oracle Veno if you're picking Weaver Brewmaster? I guess Veno annoys Brewmaster in the lane, but he doesn't really hurt Brew that much. Brew is a very beefy, tanky, survivable offlaner. Veno just kind of tickles you. I don't get it.
Hoodwink also. I mean, Storm Spirit is known to be kind of a hoodwink counter, in fact.
Yeah.
So,
Finds you in the tree lines, Hoodwink likes hiding there. Then you have the ball lightning, illuminating all of the fog areas. He can just
10 seconds
jump
to go.
on top of you as well. So it's It's not a good
5
start
seconds.
for the Hooting. On the bright side, I guess he can use the sharpshooter to break the Tiny.
Yeah, that's true. And Tiny is just wait. Do I remember this correctly? Yeah, the craggy exterior, man.
Yes.
Like the fact that such a tanky hero gets another tanky innate ability is crazy. It's actually
Uh,
crazy.
it's far from
Radiant's
ideal. I
mid.
have to agree with you there. And whoa, Treant Protector. Okay, Treant with the way the new Leech Seed works, you just pop it down as a tree, and it kind of survives there for a few seconds, even if you
Radiant
cut it
Bane.
down. It's quite good, and people use it to dominate the lanes. But speaking of a lane dominator, I thought we were gonna see the Underlord last game for Egypt. They're gonna go for it now.
Well, I hope it's gonna be carry Underlord. Have you done it before with the cleave? The cleave is insane.
10 seconds to
We are
go.
not
Huge
seeing
cleave.
we are not seeing a carry Underlord in the North African qualifiers. I'm willing to bet on it. We're not seeing carry Underlord.
All right, whatever.
I
For you
mean,
then.
I'm not saying I don't want to see it. I'm just saying I don't think Egypt is running this now. Because even if like they would have prepared this is a pocket strat. They might save this for later. I guess you could have the argument that they're feeling so confident they want to test it out now on a team in an official match, maybe. But I really don't think they're gonna be running this as a carry. I'm not saying it's not viable. I think it kind of just
10
melts
seconds to
through
go.
a lot of what they have on Libya, including the Primal
5
Split
seconds.
Brewlings pre-level 12. But come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, of course, you're not wrong. You just build Underlord, become the tanky boy, build the nice auras. That's really all you need. And probably if you're Egypt, you just wanna, you know, dominate the entire qualifier. Just make sure you get there. Cause I mean,
Radiant's
you never want to lose a game because you're like trying out new things in important matches.
I mean, it's a round robin. It's a group stage. Everybody plays everybody. So if you have by mistake one off day and you just somehow lose a series and someone else doesn't, that's it. There's no lower bracket. There's no second chance. You don't
10
qualify
seconds to
to
go.
another regional. This is it. This is your only chance to get
5
that
seconds.
slot to qualify to the World Esports Championships, which is
Radiant's
what we
pick.
both know by talking to the Egyptian player. That is their aim. They want to get there. And once they qualify, they're going to put in the extra work to hopefully have an even better showing than last year.
Yeah, 100% is going to be the aim. But first, they're going to get there. Not a given just yet. Although with this
seconds to
draft
go.
right now, it looks
They're looking good.
tough to dispute that. Yeah,
5 seconds.
yeah. Very good, very good.
Sanking
Also,
banned out, by the way, when there's an Underlord on the server.
Dyer's pick.
yeah, that's how it is.
Oh, is this like Libya way of confirming your theory? They thought this could be an Underlord carry. That's why they banned the Sanking offlane?
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean,
It's possible.
10
It's possible.
seconds to
Maybe
go.
Egypt, you know, the cooks in the kitchen, they're cooking up the
5
underdog carry.
seconds.
I
Maybe.
see. There's a
I
spirit
doubt it.
breaker there. There is a spirit breaker.
Okay.
Ursa's good here. Ursa might be
Time to
one
pick some
of
of
the
these
only
folks.
heroes I could have seen for Libya that has a chance, right? She likes playing versus these big, tanky, beefy boys, and there's three of them on the side of Egypt, but they're also quite elusive. And there's also a lot of just annoying stuff that Egypt can throw on the ground, like you get a kinetic field or a kinetic wall if that's what they want to go for. You get a random bash from a charging Bara. You get the Pit of Malice. You get the Kroggy exterior or some avalanche that just kind of mini stuns you permanently. It's just not the freest Ursa game.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
Ursa builds all his damage with stacks, right?
that's correct.
But Tiny builds all his damage reduction with stacks as well. So it kind of
I tend to believe that Ursa definitely comes on top when it comes to that interaction. Of course, Tiny does beef up, and it's harder for the rest of Ursa's teammates to deal damage to him. But when you get, I don't even know, let's say 9 Fury Swipe stacks on top of you, it's still gonna be very efficient.
how does it work? Is it overall damage a hero deals like axe, or is it just attack damage? Oh, it says
Tiny.
the attack damage. Yeah, it says attack
That's
damage.
yeah.
Okay, so actually Ursa's quite good then against Tiny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think this shouldn't be. I think Ursa is an actually good pick here. The only problem is she might need to get a BKB sooner than most Ursas like getting one. Some Ursas don't like getting BKB at all. Whereas I think in this game it might be a necessity at one point.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that, especially against the Static Storm and Storm Spirit Orchid that's going to come out eventually. But when would that be good? Probably after Blink and Battle Fury, if you want to go for that.
We are now in game. Let's take a quick look at the players. We got a Disruptor played by Area, Spirit Breaker by Bob, Underlord, Megaway, Kemp on the trustworthy Storm Spirit, and Forever on the carry Tiny. Whereas for the side of Libya, we have Forever. Oh, it doesn't even matter. We're going straight into action as they're trying to connect for a first blood. Before I even get the chance to run you through the dire side lineup. Okay, there's a quiet moment now. We got Steve on the Treant Protector, X on the Hoodwink, Action on the offlane Brewmaster, Kashi on the safe lane Weaver, and last but not least, I guess the only winning condition for them, it's going to be the Ursa safe lane played by Google. Wait, I just realized, is this a Weaver mid? Wait, what?
No. Weaver was it's on the support.
Oh, okay. I was getting really concerned just now.
And the offlane Brewmaster, and we actually got a mid Hoodwink. Oh, I just realized that.
So, is that worse than the Weaver mid?
It's a good question. It depends on how good your Hoodwink is. 3 runes for them, though. I know Thompson, 4 runes for them.
Got a feeling this.
Oh, that's a good start.
Massive victory for them. Thompson did used to play this quite often, that is correct, but I think it's safe to say that was over a year ago, right? I don't think Thompson has played that much core Hoodwink since the New Frontiers update came in last summer. At least not as far as I remember.
No, it's I think he's also toned it down a little bit when it comes to his craziness. He just wants to be a more stable guy. Which makes sense, because, he tends to be... Yeah, a little crazy out there with his ideas. Which is why I like him so much.
It was rather recent when he pioneered the Dazzle mid, right? And everybody copied it for like, what was it, 2 months straight. It was kind of frustrating. Everybody was like killing your Tormentor with like 5 couriers. I mean, it worked. So he sometimes does... convert these ideas that everybody just feels inspired by.
Oh yeah, he's a very smart player for sure. Like with the ideas he comes up with, pretty good. I'm still waiting for my core Bane to make an appearance in a big tournament.
Any moment now, Black. Any moment now. I know you've been wanting for this for over a year now.
Ooh, what? He just clapped him to death.
Is that a level 1 disruptor getting a kill? That is a level 1 disruptor. Okay. I mean, Thunderstrike is a strong spell. I didn't think it was strong enough to kill the Weaver. But weirder things have happened in the history of Pro Dota. Such as Google losing his wand, but they're trading it, getting Forever's courier killed. Both of them carries, top safe lane and bottom Radiant losing their wands in the process in just a matter of 3 seconds.
Can I just say how silly Disruptor's innate ability is? It's actually so strong.
I actually think it's probably one of the most undervalued ones. I don't understand why people don't realize how broken it is. And I find it funny because I'm a Disruptor player myself. I think it should be nerfed or removed or reworked. But people don't seem to value it as much as it is. I don't know. It's a strange situation. Because, like I said, Disruptor is one of these heroes that was S tier last patch. He essentially got an extra ability, which is a buff, and he's not being played as much as he was. Very interesting progression for this hero.
Yeah, so in the Riyadh and TI qualifiers for Asia, it was actually very contested for first pick. Which I think is where he belongs, to be honest. He's
So do I. But I feel like when we saw the previous, like, what were the other couple last tier 1 tournaments, he was untouched on this new patch, as we have action glimpsed in to the hands of Disruptor plus Forever's Tiny, and he now falls. Second kill for this bottom lane, safe lane of the Radiant side.
Yeah, easy peasy. Tiny Disruptor is a strong lane to go up against for sure. Oh, Kashi, they have a sentry ward down, glimpse as well, and you're gone. Boom.
I like that dynamic. He dispel? He what?
Yeah, the tree actually didn't hit him. It like disjointed.
Yeah, but that's so weird. Then why did it follow through? It should have just continued like going without turning like 180 degrees. Huh.
Yeah.
That was a strange interaction.
Getting mauled up top. Yeah, I also didn't think it would work like that.
Oh, Google's like posturing in head of the lane, actually doing what he should be doing. He's an Ursa running into 2 strength melee heroes. He should be completely abusing this and punishing both Bob and the Patient. But, I mean, it's also an Underlord. It's still quite annoying to get next to the creep wave every single time he has the Firestorm, right? It's one of those things. If you can get on top of him to kill him, that's great. But you have a Treant Protector. He doesn't have the most reliable lock until level 6.
Yeah, that's very true. Our Patient is probably
Nice charge.
wow, that was a very nice. Yeah.
The Dyer's courier took a trip.
Okay, Steve loses his career.
Juking. Oh, the stacks just barely didn't run out.
He's tanking a lot of the Firestorm.
Bash.
Sure, Bobby's trying his best.
Bash.
Does he gonna get it? He does. 1 kill. It's gonna be actually Steve claiming both of them for his Treant Protector. As in mid, we see Kemps trying to punish X6 Hoodwink. In the end, he will turn around and be content with getting the courier kill. And now, X, I assume, has to TP back to base. Oh, there's a bounty room in his jungle, so he can refill his bottle up. That's fine.
Yeah, although it is just a bottle. Sorry, it's just a bounty rune. Of course, not a complete refill. They're actually looking to kill middle. Almost on 6 though. Oh, again.
Oh,
it's so easy for them.
This Weaver is being so punished, and I'm gonna be honest. Tiny Disruptor is rough to play against, but I feel like Kashi is just overstepping. His job should be just harassing Disruptor away and maybe don't get so close to Forever.
Who can?
Oh, Kemps just dies. That was a great combination. Rotate from a Treant Protector. Not the hero you expect to maybe see in mid. That's why potentially Kemps was surprised. And then the connection, Acorn, Bushwhack, and of course the Sharpshooter to get the kill. Libya, they're not winning, but they're definitely more in this game than they were last game in minute 6.
Yeah, definitely fighting a lot harder. Also gave themselves a much better chance in the draft. I think their lanes are much stronger. Now Tiny is about to hit level 6, then he gets a huge bonus in armor and damage, of course. Ooh, Disruptor lifted his hands for the glimpse, but he couldn't get it.
Is that Disruptor's way of like saying, "Oh, come on, man"? It's like real life when, you know, you're exasperated, you throw your hands up in the air. Okay. Action, I don't think you really wanted that melee creep so much to sacrifice yourself to Forever. And now you're gonna waste, like, miss a double wave under the tower because you're dead for 20 seconds up top. Finally, they managed to, well, not finally, they got a few kills previously, but this time Google will not pay with his life for it. Steve on a killing spree on the Treant Protector.
Yeah, Steve is owning almost level 6. 5.5 already. But I say that, but Disruptor is literally level 6 at minute 7.
Wow. I mean, it's the same level as the Hoodwink then.
Yeah, and now it's a mid rotation. There should be an easy kill with a Static Storm. I say that, but
oh, nice Bushwhack. Kemps is actually gonna sidestep, and now Static Storm coming in to protect them. Google is here with the Ursa. That's That is an early rotate for Nursa, but the amplified damage from Steve will get taken, and now Kems will have to be forced out of there. Nobody dies, but a lot of rotations have been made.
Yeah, there was a big miscommunication as well, because Camps didn't really want to go in, but Disruptor hard committed.
Charge does hit Kashi. Only level 4. Oh my goodness! Bash to bash to bash. Bob just completely annihilating this Weaver, who doesn't get the chance to have a game 0-4-0, and now forever jumping in. Avalanche cost. We now have the global rotate from the Underlord using the Fiend's Gauge successfully, and he's gonna go back up top alongside the Spirit Breaker. Double kill for forever. It's feels like a walk in the park currently.
Yeah, make it look easy. I mean, that's the reason why we see Tiny first band in every game, pretty much. Heroes are so strong. Any carry that has like the ability to stun twice and right click for 200 damage at minute 9. It's kind of ridiculous.
Patient. The only one that has had a rather rough lane for the Radiant side will get away scot-free, but look at this. Oh my goodness. Kashi, not again. Falls at the feet of Forever plus Chems. This Disruptor is 100 gold behind the Brewmaster. He could overtake Brewmaster if Disruptor gets involved in one more kill.
Yeah, which could be happening right now. Yep. Onto the Hoodwink we go.
Jumping in. He has survived this far, but this time around he won't be as successful as Kashi is coming, and he will get glimpsed yet again into a static remnant, blood grenade, right click, ball lighting forward. Kemps really wants to secure the double kill. Doesn't have enough mana, but he has more than what he needs to go back to Fountain.
Yeah, nice decision making, just TP out of there. He knew he doesn't have any way to cancel it.
Disruptor needs a bit of HP here. I think should probably not give away his 4-0-5 kill streak, if you ask me personally.
Oh man, just looking at Tiny makes me a bit angry. Oh, are they gonna? Ooh, they don't even force out the split because they just kill him. I'll take that. Why not?
I'm trying to turn around, but it's a level 4 Weaver, level 5 Treant Protector.
Dude, look at Tiny's health pool, man. 2000 HP at level. I mean, at minute 11.
He also does have Threads Wand, Echo Saber at the same time. Like that is insane. 6.1k net worth. To 11 minutes in. I don't even know what to say, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel like my voice and Black's voice are a bit deflated, is because Egypt is just completely destroying, and there is nothing for us to say. The Ursa is in the top 3 net worth, but anything else is just completely pointless from them, as Google is again posturing up this top lane, but he will get TP'd on from Kemps, pops the Enrage, and tries to run away. But who's gonna help you? A level 4 Weaver? No, he's not. He's gonna join you in the afterlife, probably dying, as we have a nice Nether Strike connecting. Stick or not, kill will be secured. It's an annihilation.
Yeah, Kashi's having a very rough one. 0-7-0. Virtually a walking bank account at this time.
You know the drill.
Oh, okay. Shock return.
A lot of damage.
He doesn't die. He doesn't. Yes, he does. Okay, that was some good damage coming in from both the Treant and the Hoodwink. A bit of a victory for them. They would have much rather loved to kill the Tiny or even the Disruptor. They are the big kill streaks currently, but a kill is a kill.
Yeah, Tiny is a very hard kill at this point. Avalanche 2 hits, half HP gone. Yep, sounds good to me.
He's going for the Shadowblade build. Sometimes we see Tiny is going for the Orchid because it gives you the attack speed and the silence, but this game, Forever doesn't feel the need to do anything fancy. He's just gonna go for classy. He's got the Echo Saber, and I mean, he's going to be unstoppable at any point. I don't know what the game plan to shut him down is. You need maybe Hoodwink level 12 to connect with a fully charged sharpshooter into like 6, 7 swipes from the Ursa.
Maybe even more than that. Well, the whole family is coming down here to get on top of the Tiny.
They're trying to
disrupt the ult.
The primal split again doesn't get used. Nether Strikes reposition and secure the kill onto the Tiny. We wanted at least to get the disruptor. The glimpse, toss, and X will fall. Arcane Rune cannot protect you from our damage. And I liked what Libya tried to do when they realized, oh shit, we can't kill the Tiny, let us go for the disruptor. He also has a big kill streak, but they couldn't even finish him off. And now Kashi, oh nice, juking to the west, gets away for the first time in forever, as he has been dying left, right, and center. So let's try to see this attempt yet again, Black.
Yeah, the disruptor ult was absolutely amazing. Like, if they got the Bruce Split off there might actually be a fight for them. But of course, instant disruptor ult completely faults any plan they had, and from there it's just impossible to kill the Tiny, control the Tiny. Who now has 2.5k HP. His net worth is outrageous. Can we just go through Tiny's numbers? Why does everything do so much? He has slow resistance, he has status resistance, he has damage reduction, his ult gives armor damage, bonus damage on toss and movement speed. Why does he do everything?
He is not a universal hero. I gotta say that as well. He's a strength hero, and he's very strong.
And he has 4 strength gain.
Goodness gracious. Did we see?
And he becomes a range hero, and he has a displacement ability, and he has a stun.
Yeah, but he's got 0 agility, base agility. You know what I mean? Like it's
you say that, I see 15 right now.
That is true. That is true. Okay, they're trying to get. Oh wow, that is a lot of stuff throwing in for Disruptor, but you really need to kill him. Finally, first primal split of the game will grant him a huge dominating streak from the very famous, as he does fall. No turnaround this time around, as
Radiant's bottom tower
I'm surprised they managed to get a kill there. A Disruptor may be overstepping in confidence. Also, Chems has a completed Orchid now.
Yeah, very scary. Ooh.
Oh, Fiend's Gate coming in. X, actually, I think that might have been the play to take the Fiend's Gate away. He doesn't commit to it, and now the Nether Strike just bursts him out of the server. Kashi still on level 5. Okay, bash to ground. Meet your bomb, doubling the level of the opponent's support. Level 10 on the Spirit Breaker for the 5 of the Weaver. 17% chance for him feels like 17.
Let's look at Tiny. Just completely ripping apart. This damage is ridiculous. And now let's look at Tiny farm a stack. Here, tree grab up and boom. Yeah.
Can I please distract you for a second?
Okay, what's up?
Currently, there is a disparity of 13 levels between the two teams at minute 16. And the Ursa dies. That's gonna make it even worse. 13 levels. And now Steve will join them.
Dies.
Oh, there's some damage flying in from the Acre Shot, but no, the shield will pop by Chems. Gotta get it. Another double kill. 14 levels now. Oh, they keep on going. Guys, this is not the way to go.
As Weaver is actually, like, he can't do anything anymore. He's so far behind. Impossible to play the game of Dota now.
He's level 5. 7, like last game, I believe the Shadow Shaman hit level 6 at minute 16. He's not even close to it yet. He might need to die 4 more times before he gets his level 6. Meanwhile, this Disruptor has purchased his own Aghanim Shard. He's got Thunder Strike available, level 11 for him. Spirit Breaker, level 12. Goodness gracious.
Stupendous.
Yeah, he also has a Shadow Blade completed already. Ridiculous levels of farm on him as well. Yeah, I mean, as we spoke about on the break, it's gonna be tough for any team to really beat Egypt. Egypt is crazy good.
Charge into the Ursa. The Spirit Breaker is higher level than the Ursa. And like I said, Kashi has to die yet again trying to get himself closer and closer to that level 6. Net worth-wise, he's the very bottom with 2.6k, even 1,000 behind the tree and protector, and Action seems to be really believing in this Radiance if he's gonna get it. He's about 600 gold away from having it. As we also tried to get our hands on a Maelstrom for the Hoodwink, but the very famous and Chems are smoking up, trying to get someone else. The Ursa does disengage. They see the Ancients have been killed.
Yeah, smoking around to the Brewmaster. And they find him. Goodbye.
This is... he's not even moving. He's like, you know what? You got me. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you played hide and seek and someone found you. You had two choices. Like, you could try to, like, pretend they didn't find you and run away, or just be, like, an honest man and give up. You're like, yep, you find me. Well done. That's kind of what happened there.
Or the third option is you act like you don't exist.
You do that often, Black?
Yeah, of course. Part of my
Fair
survival instinct.
I get that. That's fair enough. Oh, they're jumping in. No, Kashi's somehow still at level 6. Oh, you got it. He got it. It doesn't matter. He died. He was silenced. Couldn't use time lapse. He has it. 1921 minute when the Weaver has his level 6. Ladies and gentlemen, this might just be the turnaround point. We got the Overgrowth committed onto Chems and the Primal Split onto the Disruptor, blows up to the Sharpshooter, and we can finally say, after what feels like a lifetime, this is an equal trade. 1 for 1. Support for support, but when you're playing 15,000 gold behind, it's a victory for the Dire.
Yeah, and they were pretty close to catching up to the Storm as well. There's still hope. Ursa's definitely one of the heroes in this patch that can carry games. But you gotta remember, it's a tiny. If you lose one fight, your base is bye-bye.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
12,000 net worth on this tiny. Ursa has the Blink Dagger on top of the Battle Fury. This is good. This is slowly starting to come along for them. I think the Radiance is also not far off. No, it's not at all. He actually has it on Action currently. So, great pickups for the side of Libya. Level 6 on the Weaver, the Radiance, the Blink. I think even the Gleipnir has arrived. No, well, not ignored that. Abort mission. There's only a Maelstrom, and that's about it for the Hoodwink.
Huh. Yeah. I was looking at Tiny. He's about to have 35%. That's what does. Dead
Okay.
once more.
I mean, this was the second best streak in the game, and he died back to back to back now. As long as you manage to get something, like I said, when you're so far behind, every kill is a huge goal swing. Another 600 going in the favor of Libya, trying to offset some of this aggression. They're TPing. They've got the Overgrowth at the time. Oh my goodness. Tree and Protector doesn't protect anything as he just gets blown out of the water. And now charged out mid. Fiend's Gate, Storm Spirit jumping in. And we have the chance of running away. There's no Primal Split available at all. 4 heroes. Probably a bit of an excess TP here to get this Brewmaster, but hey, it's a core.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
Yeah, the amount of synergy they have in this lineup is also really, really good. Like Storm or the Hoodwink.
Just jumping in so far. Level 15. This Storm Spirit spots the Hoodwink. Fish Bash Bosh and his life. Steve. I don't know what Steve's trying to do. He's using the Overgrowth. He's punching the Storm. He's getting away. Meanwhile, Forever is killing Kashi yet again. Kashi didn't get the chance to use the time lapse, but that's Black. What is happening right now? Somehow, Dota Plus still gives them 2% chance, which is admirable. But I think it's like a -2 for Libya, if you ask me personally.
I mean, 0% is just purely statistically speaking not possible in most cases, right? Like there's always a tiny bit of a chance of something to happen. But yeah, it's gonna be a big uphill battle, and it will definitely involve Egypt misplaying massively, which with the current trajectory, can't really see that happening. Tiny also now finished his Sanj Yasha. So you got a casual 39% status resistance. Pretty cool.
I truly hope that Libya doesn't feel too down after this series, right? I feel they realize they've just been outmatched as they're gonna get jumped on
The
top
tiny
Tormentor.
paradise.
This is gonna be a disaster, but the time lapse coming in time, and
Oh, they
now
got
we
Tormentor
have the
too.
beautiful static storm. They're trying to take the Fiends get away. That was a nice attempt, but in the end, it's gonna be a dominating and godlike spree, respectively, for Forever and Patient.
That must feel so horrible. They also get the Tormentor, Camp solo kills, X. We spoke about Storm hard countering Hoodwink. Everything is going wrong, man. They couldn't even get the shard. The shard went to Camps, actually.
No, it didn't. Oh my goodness, that is atrocious. Yeah, I mean, everything else has been a disaster. This one, again, at 22 levels behind currently, Black. Is this good enough disparity for you?
Them dire buildings are tough as nails.
We said 30 was the territory of no comeback, right?
22 is still not enough. Okay, let's see. Black believes, ladies and gentlemen. I never knew you to be an optimist, but I can definitely respect that as we have TPs coming in. Google blinks in, but instantly gets stunned by the charge. And look at the Storm Spirit jumping in the backline. Treant Protector has to run away and manage to get away for a few while longer, but the Overgrowth doesn't get used. And look, Primal's rulings, they're just dying. So is the Ursa. Ultimate or not, nice, beautiful bushwhack onto 4, but the damage does not follow through. The Weaver has fallen, and now Sharpshooter misses. Forever just walking in, tanking the high ground. We have a beautiful glimpse into the Static Storm, into the Pit of Malice. Nom nom nom. Libya players no more.
Right on. Also base no more because Tiny's hitting the house. Oh, it's building damage, man. 200 per swipe. Huh.
Patient slicing some pizza as they've been slicing methodically the side of Libya for the last couple of maps. 27,000 gold ahead, 25 minutes in, and 99% win rate probability. Still not 100%, and still not 30 levels above. They have buybacks, right? This is one saving race, you could say, for Libya. They have buybacks. If there is massive overcommit in the Ancient or the Fountain, they can buy back, because we have Nether Strike coming in, Camps jumping in on top of it, Overgrowth, they're trying to get the kill into the Storm Spirit, and Camps has fallen. I was just summoning the overcommit, and that is a big one, including the gem. 10 godlike kill spree, 2,300 claimed by Kashi and his squad.
Yeah, that's what we said, right? Big misplace by Egypt. That was completely unnecessary, this sort of move. And we spoke about that before. You know, maybe you can get away with it here because you're leading by so much.
Yeah.
But on the big stage, you do this, you're gonna get massively punished.
I think even Libya here could probably attempt to go something, as long as they wouldn't, of course, face Forever, who could probably 1v5 them at this current moment in time. But if they could jump in on the supports and look at the Bling Dagger, the very famous, another flawless disruptor usage of the glimpse, sorry, not even the glimpse, of the Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Bish Bash Wash, Nether Strike and Charge. Made overcommit from Meteor Bob, but the kill's the kill, and that was the offlaner taken out. Charging on Kashi. He is so fast. This is one of the reasons why Spirit Breaker is viable again. It is this facet. The Bull Rush is so strong.
Oh yeah, definitely. The amount of movement speed you linger with, crazy amount.
Especially when there's no reliable
seconds
stunts,
too.
right? There's no reliable stunts for Libya. They're running a Treant Weaver supports. Unless the Treant wants to commit the Overgrowth, there's nothing to really catch him with 100%. And I don't think we got the Gleipnir yet on the Hoodwink either. So when you get that, maybe, but he still is a Vitality booster away from having it. Oh, he's got the money. He just needs to have the Courier alive long enough.
Yeah, so Steve... nice water got in, but Hoodwink gone.
Look at the Nether Strike, taking the Primal Beast closer and closer. Primal Speed gets cancelled. Electric Vortex is not going to connect with a Meteor Hammer. The Ursa tries to jump in the back line, and look at the Peat of Malice perfectly catching even Steve on the Tree and Protector. Doesn't manage to do anything to get his team to safety. Action will fall, and it's going to be Kashi, the only survivor, but not for much while longer, as Kemp jumps in. Before he dies, Google calls the GG. What a performance, Black. Team Egypt starting off the tournament with an absolute statement in this 2-0 victory versus Libya.
Yeah. As we expected, though. Strong. Very strong. Again, there isn't really much to criticize other than that, you know, occasionally they take it a bit relaxed, which they can't get away with at the Asian finals, which they aren't qualified to yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, well picked. I mean, well drafted, well played. Yeah, good job. It seems they're even sharper than last time.
The more you play, the better you feel, right? Maybe they weren't fully warmed up before that game number 1, as their previous series today was a forfeit, which I believe should put them in first place with 2-0 victories. But I gotta say, Meteor Bob on this Spirit Breaker, Black, was a complete menace, and he played that very well, but the amount of bashes he was constantly getting through his passive, the Greater Bash, were kind of overwhelming, both to feel if you're on the Libya side, but as a viewer as well. It was constant bash. It felt like I was watching a different hero.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, you know, when I played Spirit Breaker, it looked like that, but...
Same, yeah, same.
No, it was very interesting, for sure. I think that's why I picked Spirit Breaker so early, because they know. You know, some people just have a bash command.
I knew someone like that once, I have to be honest, yeah. It's understandable. I'm looking at the rest of the results right now to see if we have anything else updated when it comes to Dota 2, as obviously the qualifier began earlier. We have Tunisia, you know, the team we saw in the first series of today. I am updating everybody at home. You can find all of this information on IESF.gg yourself. Tunisia defeated the Ivory Coast 2-0 in an off-stream matchup.
Ivory Coast, okay. They were supposed to be Egypt's first game, right? But they had some technical issues.
And they forfeited that game, yes.
Okay.
So not a good start for the Ivory Coast, but a pretty good one for Tunisia, who managed to get one map in the first series and then a 2-0 victory. So they should be finding themselves actually in second place, as Morocco only played a single series today. Obviously, that may change tomorrow. The more games are being played, as we see the absolute final team wipe that Egypt managed to, well, get over Libya. Area, Megaway, Bob, Kemp, and Forever match winner, all the players of Egypt. And I gotta ask you, MVP for that overall series, Black?
Overall series, I mean, if we're just looking at who did the job perfectly, like we're not talking about flashiness or anything like that. I think it's Forever. Both games, 0 deaths. Like, he farmed super nicely. He joined fights when he had to join fights. Yeah, I think it's a very stellar carry performance.
I'm with you. I think Forever did exceptionally well. Flawless. No deaths on the tiny, right? Like, what else is there to say about that?